And now it's time for any of the rest of you who want to come forward. Remember, be bold, be brief, and who would like to come up?
I'm Anna Greater, Borge's sister. Before I even start to talk about Borge, I want to talk about his sons. There was one day I talked to Borge over the phone, and I told him there's absolutely nothing that I am jealous of you of, but except your family. You have some incredible sons and the whole family, and I hope that you'll just move on. Okay, sorry. Okay, Borge, he loved his garden. That was his big thing, that he could get all his flowers going and he could be out there working in the garden. But I have a little poem that I like to read, and that will say that when God looked around his garden, he found an empty space. He looked about his earth, and he saw your tired face. He put his arms around you and lifted you to rest. God's gardens must be so beautiful because he chooses only the best. He knew that you were suffering and in so much pain. He also knew in heaven you would never hurt again. He knew your road was getting rough, the hill so hard to climb. So he closed your weary eyelids and whispered, "Peace be thine." It broke our heart to lose you, but you didn't go alone. Because part of us went with you. The day God called you home. All I can say is thank you, Borge, for all the memories that you have given to me all through my life. And all I can say is farewell, my dear brother. I will miss you, but we will meet again someday. Peace and love from Klaus and I. Thank you.
All right, so I wasn't as bold as I was for Fam Wars service a couple years ago, but I'm going to try to be the strongest I can be, but brief, not so much. I also speak for my brother and sister and cousins. Today is a sad day, but I wanted to stand up here and talk to you all today because I don't think Fafa would want us to be sad. I think it would be important to him that we come away from here today remembering the good times and the joy he brought to our lives. Borge Norby lived a remarkable life, one that inspired me greatly. His adventurous attitude, his broad range of interest, and his happy demeanor made him a wonderful person to know. I think grandchildren have a special vantage point. By the time we meet our grandparents, they've probably made most of their mistakes and learned most from them. Their secret journey, unobserved by others, has carved itself into their faces. When a child looks at their grandpa, he or she knows who he is. I also think there are lives that are so whole that when they end, you realize that they told the story of all of our lives. Borge, my grandfather, had that kind of life. As I knew him, he was handsome and defiant, and he had his own brand of funny. As you listened to him, you knew he meant everything he said when cussing and using his Dinglish slang. The best memories I had with him were at Pio Pico, playing pool inside, playing cards on that table. Me and him always cheated. And riding our bicycles outside. Also, he would never let me finish or my brother or sister finish a meal without having a scoop of ice cream, even if it wasn't the good kind. And if I was lucky, Famor would have the good waffle cones. It wasn't always so much about being active or doing something constantly with my grandfather. It was the complete opposite. I will never forget him as a man who would sing and whistle old songs when there's nothing but a room full of silence. I'm sure everyone here has memories much like mine. There are good memories some will always have to cherish. It isn't often in our lives we come across someone so special that the person stays with you forever. The only way to get hurt in his life is to care. Papa cared more than most, loved more than most, and was made to suffer more than most because of how much he cared. He lived a simple life. It didn't take much to make him happy. A phone call, a card, a visit, or a kiss before saying goodbye or goodnight. Everyone here was the most important people in his life, in addition to my grandmother. He lived to make our lives a better place and was proud of each and every one of us. To think that someone like him felt that way about us should make us all feel more than just a little good. We could never forget there is a part of him in each and every one of us, something he gave to us and asked nothing in return for. After you, Farfar, the mold was indeed broken. I thank you for the strength and you have always given me and my brother and sister. I love you forever. Thank you.
Just to set this record straight, I told Borge when I was home in Denmark, you're crazy if you want to come over here. Because Borge and Syria had a beautiful house in Denmark, they had a nice car, but Borge felt like he'd gotten as far as he could in Denmark, you know, and he just had to keep building on his life. And I told him, you don't know what you're getting into. It's not easy to get to a new country. Don't speak the language, and he found out the hard way. It was hard for him the first 2 years over here. It really was. The first day he got a job down at the dairy, he got a ticket. The very first day, it was down on Palm Avenue, and the cop said, well, it's just, I'm going to give you the ticket. Even he couldn't talk to him anyhow. But he felt like it was a good lesson for him. And Borge, you know, he did a few cuss words about that. Yeah, I don't know what he learned or not, but anyhow, Borge got to work in construction. Him and I, we worked together for 30-some years. And only one day did we have a disagreement. And that was on a Friday afternoon. That was way back when we bought a couple of cases of beer after a hard week. And there was a lumber truck that came in right when we had the beer. By the time Borge was done unloading the darn truck, the beer was gone, and he got so mad at me. And he told me, you could at least have saved me one beer. I said, I'm sorry, Borge. And he was coming to our house that night, and I thought about it, God, is he still mad at me? But we were brothers, and we gave each other a hug, and it was over. Never had a disagreement since. Never. I love my brother. Him and I were best friends for all those years. And I'm going to miss him terribly. There's a little story I could tell about Borge, but I just can't do it. I'm just looking at all the people that's there today, and there's an old say, show me your friends and they'll tell you who you are. And you can only see what Borge here was to a lot of people. And I thank you all for doing that for him, because Borge was a great man. He was a simple man. He didn't need anything, and he had a lot to thank you, everybody. I was going to say, too, the last 5 years, Peter and Burr and I, we decided we were going to go to lunch once a month, and we've been doing that right up till Christmas. And we have the best. We sit and talk Danish. People around us look at like, what the hell are they doing? I mean, we're just laughing about old time. And I'll tell you what, it's been the best time. And Peter, we still got to keep doing it. So, thank you.
I'm going to be brief and bold. I just want to say one thing about Borge. God, when he gets up there, he's got this language, and we call it Spandanglish on the job site. And I was his official translator on the job site. And basically what he was saying was, move your truck or unhook those trusses. That was it. So, I love you, Borge. I'm going to share all my memories with my family. We've been doing that, so that's going to be our thing. But at work, man, what a guy. What a guy. What a life. And I got to be the luckiest person in the world to be able to work with that guy and have this family and these great co-workers and everything. Wow. Very lucky.